Okay, I got a quick tip for you. I've got 6 feet of sail thread here that I want to put in a heat shrink tube for a kit. And you know what you might jump directly into is just doing a wrap here. The problem is this may end up getting tangled when you pull it out. So instead I do a little figure 8 wrap between 2 fingers here. And that would be great, except when you get finished, you have this kind of big 8 that it's kind of hard to flatten it, and even harder to try to stuff into one of those tubes. It can work, but especially when you're trying to get more thread in than easily fits in the tube. And so I thought of a little trick. Essentially get yourself another just short length, like let me get on a background here that you can see, 6 inches or something. And so I'm just going to put this down along my finger that I'm going to wrap around. I'm left-handed, so, reverse the video or something to get what you want. Anyway, so I'm going to put it right along there because I want to wrap this thread into one of the loops. Okay, so I grab the thread. And I start it. And I'm making sure to stay over top of that little thread. And so this figure 8 wrap will keep it nice and tidy when you go to pull it out on the other side, so that it will not be tangled. Okay, now important at the end here to pull this out. Give yourself a little bit extra room here. I could have gone a little bit longer on that. Anyway, keep this thing nice and tidy and flatten it out. Flatten it out. And then straighten these out. Okay, now you can get a tube that might be just barely big enough. And you run it through like that. And now you can pull, see that? Pull the thread through. And you just got a lot more thread into a tube than you would otherwise have, just trying to shove it in there. And I know heat shrink tubing shrinks, but I like to keep the thread in as good a condition as possible. So I don't really want to melt anything onto a waxed thread like this, but it probably doesn't make a huge difference. I just like it, how tidy it is, fitting it into a tiny thing. And then you can take your lead out. Good to go. 6 feet of sail thread, ready to stuff a couple needles in there and throw in any kit. Anyway, thought you'd enjoy that tip.